What is going on, guys? My name is Dustin. Welcome back to the channel. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for the last few days now, and I've been wanting to make this video with Trista, but since I've been home, we've just been enjoying time with our kids and with each other. So, yeah, I thought about it, and I really want to make this video kind of talking about this, and maybe she can make a video on her channel kind of talking about, like, her point of view from it. So, if you guys don't know, if you follow me on Twitter, then you may know what this video is about, because I'm pretty sure I'm titling this video called I Did a Thing. I did a very big thing, something that I never thought I would do in my lifetime. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, on October 26th, 2019, one day before my 27th birthday, I proposed to Trista, and she said yes. Obviously, I wouldn't be making this video talking about this. But yes, I asked Trista to marry me, and she said yes. So, I kind of want to talk to you guys about what my thought process was and kind of how I handled the situation, and kind of tell you guys what I was like more nervous about or more afraid about, because it's a big deal. Obviously, it's a big commitment. You know, asking somebody to marry you and being married in general is a big commitment, but I think it's something that Tristan and I were both ready for. So, we're not getting any younger. I literally just turned 27 on October 27th. So, yeah, I think it's at that point in my life where I kind of want to settle down and, kind of have that life where I, get the whole marriage experience, I guess you could say. So, yeah. If you guys know, if you've been watching for the last couple months, I took a job in South Carolina. So I was really far away from home. I was like 10 hours away. And when I was down there, I had purchased an engagement ring. And it's something I really have been thinking about even before I left. It is something that I have thought about. And Tristan and I have talked about it, like, in conversation about, like, being married. And, we talked about, like, what would your dream wedding be like? And where would your dream honeymoon be? And stuff like that. So I really thought about it. And I kind of just sat back the night that I bought the ring at night. The night that I bought the ring, and I was like, I weighed my options. Like, is this something I want to do? Is this something that she wants? I had to think from not only my point of view, but hers also. So I thought about it, and I decided, yes, this is the best thing to do. So I went ahead and I purchased the ring. Now, normally when stuff happens like this, and I just want to say real quick, Tristan and I have a very, like, unconventional relationship. Like, our relationship is not your stereotypical relationship. Like, Tristan and I have very similar personalities in the way we, like, do certain things. We're unique in our relationship, and I think that's what, makes our relationship so amazing, is that she can be her and I can be me, and we can just have a good time, being ourselves around each other, and I think that's very, very important. Now, normally, when people talk about getting married, the girl will go out and, like, oh, I like this engagement ring. It's kind of something you look at together, which you think, you would want it to be a surprise, but that's just, like, the very conventional way to do things. Now, I picked out this ring without Trista showing me anything. I looked at hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of rings, and I saw the one, and I just knew. Like, the minute I saw it, I was like, this is Trista. Like, this symbolizes her. And I purchased the ring, obviously. If I can find a picture of it, I will post the picture right here on the screen so you guys can see. It's a beautiful, beautiful ring. And I'm not going to get into, like, pricing and how much it costs, because that's nobody's business. It was not a cheap ring, and it also wasn't, like, a over-the-top expensive ring. Like, there are engagement rings that cost more than cars. It was nothing like that. It was a good in-between. That's all you're getting. So I made the purchase, and I didn't say anything to anybody for a while about it. It's something only I knew that I did, and I didn't say anything to my friend. I didn't say anything to my family yet. And to be honest with you, I was afraid. I was afraid to tell my friends and to tell my family. And I know a lot of people are thinking, like, if they're your friends and your family, if they're going to support you, why would you be afraid to tell them that you want to propose? And I just want to say now, I have anxiety. I have terrible, terrible anxiety. So when I'm in a situation, I think of the worst possible things. So knowing that I had the ring, and I felt like if I was to tell Eric, who's my best friend, that, you know, he's gonna be like, why would you do that? Like, you just got this new job and money and blah, 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 blah. Like, I didn't want to hear it. I was just hoping that people would be happy. And it just, there was a fear. But the first person I told was indeed Eric. We were actually in the truck driving. I think we might have been going to get food, or we were looking for apartments down there or something. I can't remember. But I was like, hey man, look, I did something last night, and I kind of want to tell you about it. And he's like, what did you do? And like, I just saw this look of concern come across his face. And I was like, I bought an engagement ring. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. He was so happy. He handled it probably the best out of everybody that I told. He handled it the best. Like, his reaction was awesome. He's like, oh my god, my best friend's getting married. I get to be in a wedding. Heck yeah, dude. Like, good for you. I can't wait. You know, when are you going to do it? And I talked about it, and I knew, I kind of had an idea of when I wanted to actually propose, and I had 2 dates in mind of when this was going to happen. It just depended on when I could pick up the ring, because obviously it had to be sized to her size, and there was like a process to it. You guys will find out. My daughter's in the room. Hello? Yeah, I have a hat on. Okay, I'm making a YouTube video. Can I come? I'll talk to you in a minute, okay? Okay, bye. That's you. That is me. That's my daughter, ladies and gentlemen. I told her I was making a YouTube video. She knew I was making a YouTube video. And the reason I'm wearing a hat, because she just pointed it out, is my hair is an absolute disaster. As you can tell, I need my beard trimmed. I need a haircut. And yeah, Trista does all that stuff, but she's at work right now, so she can't really do it. But I will be cleaned up at some point. Anyways, back to my story. I had a couple dates in mind of when I actually wanted to do this whole proposal thing, and it really all varied on when I got the ring. And my first initial thought was, because I knew I was coming home the weekend, like the upcoming weekend. I bought the ring on like a Friday. Yeah, I bought it on a Friday, and I knew I was coming home the following Friday, like a week from that Friday. So if I would have had the ring ready in time, it would have been ready in time, and I could have went and picked it up after work. I was going to do it at the corn maze. If you guys are subscribed to Trista, she made a vlog when we were at the corn maze. I was going to do it there, because I was like, okay, like my friend will be there, and like Trista's friend and our kids will be there, and it's a moment that, like, you really got to think like who you want to share that moment with. So there was a lot of thought into that. I thought about just having just Trista and I, having the kids around and like friends, and then ultimately I decided on the last option, which we'll get to. Obviously the ring was not ready in time, so I ended up not proposing to her then. But after I told Eric, I called my mom. And I told my mom, and I was really nervous to tell my parents, just because, like, you know, like, I don't know what they're going to think, you know, and like I said, having anxiety, I was thinking the worst possible outcome the entire time. I called my mom. She was in the car with my stepdad, and they were really happy about it. My mom was like, you know, it's so weird. I was just talking to Nathan, who's my stepdad, about it, and I knew it was going to happen really soon. I just didn't know when. She's like, so I'm not surprised you're telling me this. But she handled it very well. She was happy. Now, the next person I called was the person that I was most nervous to call. Like, I was really not looking forward to it, and that is my father. I love my father to death, but me and my dad really, like, we butt heads sometimes, and we don't always see eye to eye on the same thing. So me and my dad tend to argue a lot more than anybody else in my family. It's just our relationship. It's always been that way. So I called my dad, and he handled it perfect. He's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm really happy for you. You know, you're stepping up, and you're gonna be in the kids' lives, and that's awesome. You know, like, you have. He was just happy. He was very happy. So I then called my grandparents, and they handled it very well. They were really happy, and I texted the rest of my friends, and I told them. So because I went home that weekend, I didn't propose the first weekend I came back. But I knew I was coming home the weekend after that. So the weekend after the corn maze, I knew I was coming home because it was my birthday weekend. So after work one day, I believe it was on a Monday, I went and I picked up the ring because it was done. And then it all kind of started to sink in. Like, I remember sitting in the hotel room by myself, and I just kept looking at it, and I'm like, wow, like, this is really happening. And then that's when that moment started to happen in my head about, like, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this work? And I remember talking to my dad, because obviously my dad proposed to my stepmom, and they're married. And, I talked to him, and he was like, you're going to get nervous. And I kept saying, I'm not going to get nervous, because I know she's going to say yes. I knew Trista would say yes. That was never a fear in my mind that she was going to tell me no. My fear was messing it up or forgetting the ring or something, because I have very dumb moments where I forget things like that all the time. So that was the biggest point at one time. So then when I knew I was coming home, and I knew I wasn't proposing to her until Saturday. So we left South Carolina on a Thursday, drove all night. I got home on a Friday at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, which is insane. It was a 10-hour drive. I hate that drive. I never have to do it again, thank God. So I get home, and then this was my biggest fear, was how am I going to hide this ring where Trista isn't going to find it? I'm coming home, she's going to do my laundry. I can't keep it in my bags because she'll see it. So I hid it underneath the passenger seat in my car. Now, the nerve-wracking thing is all weekend when we were going to do stuff, we were using my car. So my ring was literally 2 feet away from Trista at any given time that she was in my car. So I was just so nervous that she was going to go in my car and look for something when I was in the house, and then look under the seat and find it. That was my fear, was her finding the ring, because I had it in the ring box, and then the ring box was inside a white box, like a white car, just a normal white, shiny box, and I stuck that underneath my seat, and I just did not want her to find it. So it was really funny, because I had a bag simply just for my electronics, because obviously I took my computer and I took my Xbox, and that's how I was able to make videos down there. And I opened the bag, and she was standing there, and all the warranty information was right on top of that bag, and I completely forgot I stuck that stuff in the bag, and I hurry up and I hit it, and she's like, what was that? Why are you being so weird? She started to question it. Another thing, if your parents have social media, you need to tell them, because I made this mistake of not telling my mom. So the day before I was going to propose to Trista, my mom knew. Like I said, my family knew when I was doing this. I told them everything, whatever. Trista posted on Facebook how she was really excited to go out to eat and go to a haunted house for my birthday. That's what we were going to do. That was the plan the whole time. And Tristan knew that we were going to this place called the Mount Washington Overlook, which is an overlook that overlooks the entire cityscape of Pittsburgh. I'll post a picture on the screen so you guys can see a view from the overlook. It is absolutely beautiful up there. And I've been to the overlook a few times. I've only ever been there at night. I wanted to go there during the day, and I thought that would be the perfect place to do it. So Trista posted on Facebook that she was really excited to go to Pittsburgh, and my mom commented on her status and said, it's going to be a day you're never going to forget. And I had to text my mom, and I was like, shut up. You can't be saying this stuff. She can't know. You're going to give it away. What the heck? Trista's not stupid either, so Trista kind of knew something was up. But, yeah, I thought my cover was blown 100%. I thought my mom ruined my big day, my proposal, because then Trista was going to figure it out, and it wouldn't have been such a shock. So Saturday comes along, and obviously Trista never found the ring in my car, and my friend shows up with Trista's friend, because they're talking, and we all decided to carpool together. So I had to go in my car, and I told Trista, I was like, I have to go get the phone charger out of my car. So I did, but I also grabbed the ring, and my coat has a pocket on the inside, down at the bottom. So I shoved the ring in there, and it just really, I had to make it not obvious. I had to try to be as normal as possible. And I was okay the entire ride down there. And then we get down there, we get to the overlook. Now, Saturday, it's a rainy day. It's supposed to rain all day. They're calling for rain. I was like, dang it, we're going to be outside at this amusement park for this haunted thing. It's going to rain all day. I want to get it done. But originally, our original plan was, when we got to Pittsburgh, was to go out to eat at the Cheesecake Factory and then go to the overlook. I was going to propose, go to Kennywood, get the crap scared out of us. But I was like, you know what? the overlook's on the way. I don't know if it's going to rain any harder because I think there was like, pretty bad rain coming through. So I was like, you know what, let's just get this out of the way. Let's beat the rain, and then we'll just eat, and then we'll go to Kennywood, do what we got to do. So we get to the overlook, and I call my dad on the way. Now, my dad met me there, and my dad watched the whole proposal. And I use the excuse that I haven't seen my dad in a long time, which I haven't. It's been months since me and my dad actually saw each other. So he came, and he knew what was happening, obviously. Again, I told him. So he shows up, and right before my dad gets there, this little platform we're on the overlook, this guy proposes to his girlfriend right in front of Trista and I. And that's the first time I ever seen a proposal in person. Like, you always see that stuff on like videos, but that's the first time I've ever witnessed a proposal in person in my entire life. And Trista's like, oh, it's so cute, good for them. And my friend and her friend kept looking at me, and they're like, do you still want to do this? And I just kept saying, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm already here. Like, I'm set. This is where I want to do it. I'm going to do it. So my dad shows up, and it starts to rain harder. And I could tell because it was cold and it was raining harder, Trista was starting to get frustrated. And I was like, dang it, like, I got to do it now. So we were standing next to each other, and I was like, okay, guys, take a picture. And her friend had her phone out, and she was like, okay. And they acted like they were taking pictures. I pulled the ring out, and I got down on one knee, and I opened it up, and I asked her to marry me. And this was probably the most surreal moment of my life. And it's like, how sometimes you have those experiences where it just seems like just time and just everything around you just completely comes to a complete stop, and it's just you in the moment. And this is going to sound really cheesy, but when I looked up at her and I saw her looking back at me, that's exactly what happened. It's like everything just stopped. And for that period of time after asking her to marry me, like between her saying yes, it was just like, it just didn't even seem like we were there. It's just like everything just stopped, and it was just her and I, and it was the most amazing moment of my entire life when she said yes. And I'm going to show you the video. Also, quickly, was I nervous? Yes, absolutely. I was so nervous. Like, when I knew I was going to do it, my legs were shaking. Like, that's how nervous I was. Again, not nervous that she was going to say no, but nervous in the sense of, like, this is it. Like, this is my moment. This is our moment. And I'm going to show you the video. I'm going to play it at the end of this. And I told you, Tristan, I do not have a very conventional relationship. It was not the smoothest proposal at all, by any means. Actually, it's really funny because when I got down on one knee and I asked her to marry me, I forgot to put the ring on her finger because she said yes. And because, like, me having anxiety and, like, not knowing what was going to happen, she said yes. I jumped up and I hugged her, and I was like, really, really? I was like, I love you. And she's like, I love you too. And it was a moment. And it was funny because my dad told me I was going to cry. I was like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I cried. I teared up. The funny thing was Trista didn't cry until the next day. Like, on my birthday when I left to go back to South Carolina, she went and showed her mom and her stepdad the ring, and they watched the video. And then Trista cried. Like, it hit her the day after. Like she had that moment where it, like, sunk in, and it was all so real for her. But I teared up. I wouldn't say, like, I broke down and bawled, but I teared up because I was happy. And it was funny, like I said, I forgot to put the ring on her finger, and we stood up, and I just handed her the ring. I was like, I forgot to hand this to you. Or I was like, oh, here, I forgot to give this to you. And it was dumb. It was so dumb. Guys, listen, if you propose to your significant other, put the ring on her finger before you stand up, or you're going to look like a fool like me. And it's still, like, a running joke between my friends and my family. They keep talking about it. And even Trista said, like, if we didn't have such a unique relationship, like, that proposal would have been all jacked up. But it's those little moments that make our relationship so great, and that made this proposal so great. And I actually had to get back down on one knee for the picture and put the ring on her finger, and I did it properly. But when you're down, you're not supposed to get back up. Like, you hug her and kiss her after she says yes, and you put the ring on her finger. Don't get up right away. But like I said, I was just so, like, over the moon. It's like this huge weight was lifted off my shoulders, and yeah. So we actually have a wedding day. So May 22nd of 2021 is our wedding day. I get to marry my best friend and spend the rest of my life with her. And I just want to thank you guys for being a part of this journey. And I hope that you guys are happy, there's going to be all kinds of videos coming and stuff like that from her and from me and from just us together. So yeah, hopefully I can convince her to make a video on her channel kind of talking about her side of things. I just think it'd be really cool. You guys can kind of get both sides. So if you're a female and you've just been recently proposed to, you can watch her video and kind of see how like she felt about it. So yeah, I proposed my best friend. She said yes. I'm getting married. You guys are the best. I'll see you later in another video. Bye-bye.
So cool.
My hair's gonna be really bad tonight.
Smile.
Your hair?
All right.
Okay, hold on a sec.
Babe, no!
Will you marry me?
Yes?
Oh man, I missed the whole damn thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh my god!
I'm crying like a bitch.
Babe!
Here, I forgot to give that to you.
You gotta open